How old were you?
I was in my early 60s.
Early 60s, first heart attack.
And women ought to know this. My women out there, y'all, get yourself a cardiologist and get your heart checked, because this came out of the blue. I had no idea I was queued up for a heart attack.
Hey ladies, welcome back to my Fierce Aging series. So today's video is with a woman named Lainey. She's 70 years old and she has a remarkable story. She's had 2 heart attacks. She just recently got a pacemaker. And she's here to share her beauty with you. And she has her 50th wedding anniversary coming up next year. And we did a beautiful makeup tutorial for that event. We wanted to bring out the lips. We wanted to have something more than just your everyday makeup. And that's what we did today. So are you ready? Let's get this beauty started. So you have your 50th wedding anniversary in March.
Yes.
And you're going to do dinner and dancing?
Yes, we're renting out this hall called the Polish American Society on St. Petersburg.
Mm-hmm.
There's a Polish band there and they serve food and a full bar. So I have to do nothing, just show up and pay for everybody who comes. So I kind of made it an open invitation. We're actually doing it 2 weekends. So if people can't, because we have no family or friends in Florida.
Okay.
Except for the new neighbors that we've made friends with, and through, my husband through work, all of his people, he's still working.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're going to have a bunch of people come, I hope, even if they're just local people.
Right.
I don't know who will, come from far away. So we have family in California, Arizona, and Illinois.
Oh, wow. That's nice.
All over.
All over the country.
Yeah.
So I want to do a makeup tutorial that's going to be for that evening.
Okay.
Nothing too much, but something fabulous, because
Okay.
50 years of marriage, we know, is not easy, right? And you said you had 2 heart attacks, right?
I did.
And they were, you had one and then
3 years later.
3 years.
Another. That's because when they do a bypass, they use your venal system. They don't use your arteries, which are stronger. The arteries pump blood away from the heart. The venous returns the flow. So there's no need for the venal veins to be as powerful and as strong as the arterial ones. So they take one. You can always tell if somebody's had a bypass because there's a little piece of their flesh missing right there where they go in and they pull out the vein.
How old were you?
I was in my early 60s.
Early 60s, first heart attack.
And women ought to know this. My women out there, y'all, get yourself a cardiologist and get your heart checked, because this came out of the blue. I had no idea I was queued up for a heart attack. I thought I was going to have other problems. And if you look at the American Heart Association literature, they always say, women are supremely affected, but I honestly thought that was not going to be in my wheelhouse because I have underlying autoimmune conditions. Hi, all my autoimmune ladies, I love you all. We're resilient. We don't let anything knock us down. We keep going.
Just recently, you said in June, got a pacemaker.
Yes.
So and then they put that in because
there's an electrical issue with the heart. Your heart is a pump and an electrical system. I've had other things like an AFib and a Watchman and a bunch of other stuff. The women that are sickos out there like me, you'll know what I'm talking about. Just keep on going, ladies. Never give up.
I'm going to start off Lainey's makeup tutorial with a very nice milk, a hydrating milk. I'm using La Mer today. I use all different types of hydrators, and today happens to be La Mer. I do love it. This is one I've stuck with that really is nice and just cooling on the skin, but not a lot of heavy moisturizer that's going to feel just too much. I'm taking the Renutriv from Estee Lauder, and this is the Transformative Eye Serum. I'm going to just add a little eye serum underneath Lainey's eyes. I'm going to be taking our eye primer. I'm going to applying this with our angled concealer brush. This is going to be a nice veil of just coverage for the eyelid. This is going to be something that neutralizes out the eye. You don't have that redness, that blues, those grays, and you want to have your eyeshadow look true and last all day. So this is what we do. You can see that everybody has this pigmentation. It is totally a normal thing to have. We want to really neutralize out this eye and not have it stay dark before we put on our eyeshadow. So just from the base of the lashes all the way up to the brow bone, and then you just work it into that inner corner and out to the outer corner. I'm going to be using our Lay Bottled Blonde. This comes with 2 little brushes here that I've designed for you, so it's easy on the go. If you forget your brushes like I always do, you have those. Then I picked out this eyeshadow palette. It has a nice sheen because I wanted to pair it with Beach House. I wanted this to be really neutral eye, but really draw attention to the lips. She's wearing a beautiful navy dress. And I just think this would be really nice. It's not going to be too much makeup, just enough for a special event. I'm actually working out of my essential makeup brush kit. This is a kit that I made for you to basically make it very easy. As a mature woman, you don't need 50 brushes. You just need the 10 that come into this little grouping of products. They're short enough for you that you don't hit the mirror every time you try to get close because you know you can't see, right? I can't see, so I had to get really close. If you have a long brush, it's very difficult. So I wrote all of the names of the brushes on here. This is a shadow brush. I'm going to go into the middle color and we're going to apply this to Lainey's eyelid, and you're going to see the placement. So we're going to go into right in the center of her lid, bringing it down into that inner corner and sweeping it out to the side. You're going to see that this gives you a really beautiful sheen. It's not glitter. It's not over the top. I really like this for mature women because it gives that life to the eye. It's not going to dull it down. It's not going to make it too dark. I want to see that light reflecting off that lid. I'm going to flip the brush over to the clean side, and I'm going to use the first color here. It's going to be just a little on the brow bone to highlight that. I'm taking my tapered blending brush. It's almost like a little pencil. It's like a little point. And I'm going to go into the darkest color here. And this is where we make that dramatic, kind of nice dimension to the eye. Just taking and blending right up into this crease, coming out a little bit. And don't worry, I'm going to come back with my eyeshadow blending brush just to blend that out a little bit. Don't want too much. Again, I'm not working with a lot of lid space, so I don't want to overpower the eyelid here. Taking my blending eyeshadow brush, it's nice and fluffy. So this is going to nicely just mix all of these colors together softly. It's not going to take it off, which some brushes, if you use too dense of a brush, will take off your eyeshadow. So this is going to blend the eyeshadows. Again, these eyeshadows are talc-free. They're very nice and silky. They're really appropriate for mature eyes. I'm going to just take my Almay eye pad. This is something that I use a lot to just clean up. There's not a lot of fallout with my eyeshadows, but I always like to clean up. That's why I don't do any concealer. I don't do any color correctors, foundation, serum foundation, BB cream, anything like that, because I want to be able to clean up. There's not really too much to clean up, but I always want to make sure it's nice and clean. I'm going to go back to the brows right now to frame the eye. Now that I have the eyeshadow on, I have soft gray and I also have brownie. So I like to do an ombre brow sometimes. Lainey has really nice darker brows, but I want to give them a little bit more structure. She did tell me that her esthetician waxed the top of her eyebrows, which I'm not a big fan of. I don't know why that happens, but we need to build them up just a little bit because you don't want to take the hair off the top of the brow. You want to take it from underneath. So you can tweeze a little bit, but you just don't want to wax on the top because it brings the brow down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first take my brownie and we're going to stroke through the brow. I know that Lainey is starting where she should be from her bone structure. You can see her brow starts right where it should be. This is the area that has been taken down a little bit. So I'm going to build it back up. So right here, this is where she would be arching, but you can see this area here, it needs to be built back up and we're ending where we need to be, which is great. So what I do is just going to come in and do soft strokes in the brow. And what I want to do, I want to go to this last hair that I see here before this goes down and build that back up so it goes nice and straight to that arch and then it comes down. So we're completing the brow and it's looking complete and not like it's has the hair and then it dips down. So right here is what we want to build back up. I'm using the soft gray now. I'm going back to the brow, and this is when I make my little extra kind of strokes where I want that brow to be just enhanced a little bit. I don't want too dark, but I also know that she does have a little bit some grays in here. I'm building up that top part where she arches. It's very subtle, but it does make a big difference when you see it in pictures. And remember, this is going to be for an event. So we want those brows to come to life. We want them to be, seen in the photos. We want everything to look really perfect. So that is our goal. I'm going to be taking my waterproof dark chocolate to really enhance the eyes. Going right to the base of the lash line. Now, the reason why I do this is I want to thicken up that lash line, but I don't want to put a big, thick, heavy eyeliner on Lainey. We want to look like we have more than we do, and this is the way I do that. So you're going to see right to the base. You're almost, if you feel it moving your lashes, you're doing it right. I'm just going to add a little bit underneath. This is usually 3/4. I never go all the way into the tear duct area because I don't like to see a whole line. I'm just going to go that 3/4 and I'll blend it in a moment. I'm using my short smudge brush to go on that top line, just smoothing out the line here. Okay. I'm going to use a little extreme cancel. There's a couple little areas that I want to use this orange color corrector to lift the darkness. So this is going to be very strategic that we're going to do right in this area here. I want to lift that color. So this is really important because as we mature, this is what happens. And we all either get discoloration, bags underneath the eyes, and then we get this hard edge, which is right here underneath the bag, right? Like it dips in. So it's going to be darker in that area there because that's about color theory, right? When it recedes, it's going to be darker and we want to bring it forward. But to do that, we first have to neutralize out this area here. So I'm going to just take my angled concealer brush and let's just take this where we're just, I know it's going to look weird because we have the orange, but once we put the concealer over, it's going to change that. So we just need to lift this color correcting, working with color theory. Now, another thing too is that when you do your concealer, you don't want it to be super light because then that's going to cast basically a highlight on this bag that's coming forward. We want it to recede, so we go for a little bit darker of a concealer. I have two concealers here. I have light and I have medium. So I'm going to see which one I think is going to be better to do the concealer. I might use both, I might mix, but once I just do little application, I'm going to see which one I think is going to be not going to highlight the area. I might mix in the two just to give me some more flexibility. This is medium here. And then what I'm going to do is I'll add the light underneath the eye. So medium goes here. And then light is going to go above that. I'm going to take my angled concealer brush. I'm going to just work this in underneath the eye. And what we'll do is we're going to let this set up underneath the eye. And I'm going to do the mascara. I'm going to go back with my light concealer and I'm right where it just divots a little bit. I'm going to just bring that forward right in here. So it's really about looking at your face and your skin and what's going on and really working that out. Again, remember, this is for an event. So we are taking our time. We might be adding a little bit more makeup than we normally would, but it is for an event. We want to look good. We want to see what we can do. How can we manipulate the skin and do the best that we can when it comes to these little areas that we want to improve. So we have three different things we're working with, ladies. That's really important to remember. We have the bag, the puff, that's going to shine light on that puff. Then we have the kind of a hard edge, which is the divot underneath the bag, and we have discoloration. So we have to think about what is the most, if it's too overwhelming where you're like, oh, I have so many issues, what is the one thing that really bothers you the most? Is it the bag? Is it the pigmentation? Or is it that hard line that dips in and you have that dark color? Focus in on one thing and perfect that, then add on to the next step and then the next. So you really can figure out what steps are going to be the best for you when dealing with something that is so common for so many mature women. We cannot stand the bags. We can't stand the discoloration. And then we basically will take small steps to really get that really smooth, brightened under eye area. We're going to go in with the Volume Up mascara. Now, I wanted to have the concealer set up before I went into the serum foundation. So that's why I kind of skipped around this time. I'm going to take this beautiful volumizing creamy mascara. This is in black. And I'm going to go to the base of the lashes. I'm not going to curl the lashes. I'm going to be using, of course, my Ardell's 420s to enhance the look of these lashes, even though you're going to see that from the base coming all the way up, we're going to get every single lash. I am going to take a little no redness. I thought about maybe not doing that, but I'm just going to go lightly in these little areas that I see some redness just here. I just don't want to see it through. We're going to be using the serum foundation. So I'm going to want to help my foundation to not have to work too hard. This redness won't come through once I color correct it with the green. I'm going in with our light serum foundation. We're going to shake this first. And then when I'm using a foundation buffing brush, I tend to use a little bit more than I would if I was just using my hands. So I usually would use about 3 drops or 4, but I'm going to add a little bit more because the brush does absorb the serum foundation. I'm going to take my buffing brush and put it into the serum foundation. And we're going to apply this to the skin, very silky smooth. You're going to get a really nice application, but not too much. But this is perfect for photos if you wanted to have something a little bit more of a foundation compared to a BB cream. So we have the lashes on, we have the serum foundation on, we have the concealer, the color correctors. I'm going to just take a little bit of my Nikita Banana. This is a brightening powder. I'm going to take it with my blending brush. So I just want to dust right underneath her eyes, just like this, to set that concealer. This is our Cream Classic Beach Glow. You glow meaning it's all cream. This is a highlighter, a blush, and a bronzer. So you have all three. And I created this because I could never find all 3 different. I'm so tired of looking for 3 different products. I put them in one. So you can use your fingers, whatever way you want to do it. I use a flat foundation brush for the blush and smile. I'm going to just put the blush on the cheeks here. You can put your blush on however you want, whatever makes you feel good. There's no right or wrong. I just want to, this is so beautiful. It looks like the color is coming through on her skin. I just think this is just one of my favorite products to use. And it just livens up the face. It just adds just enough. And then as a mature woman, you can put on the highlighter and not feel like you're going to be a disco ball because it's not glitter. It's going to just really, especially in like pictures. So I'm going in with just this on the other side of the brush. It's fine that you're mixing them together. I'm going to add the highlighter on the highest part of the cheek here. It just really looks fresh and really just very, very pretty. I'm going to use my creme brulee. I could use the cream bronzer if I wanted to, but I just want to give an overall like warmth to the skin. This is a bronzer that's cut with a cream. So you're not feeling like you're putting on too much of a dark color. to just give you that warmth, maybe all over your face. Maybe the sun kissed you. Maybe you want to feel like you went on vacation, but really didn't. So you just swirl it. I just take the blush brush, I swirl it in here. And then what we'll do is we'll just go where the sun hits you, the top of the forehead here, come around and just really add just some really pretty bronzer to the skin. We just skipped a step. We got to go back to the rose lip balm to prime the lips prior to putting on the lipstick. Now we are going in with coral lip liner. Yes, I did pick a beautiful bright color for Lainey. She was a little nervous. I said, hold on to the beauty train. We're going to be okay, because she's wearing a navy dress. We're doing pictures. This is our 50th wedding anniversary. We don't want to play it low key. We don't want to do a nude lip or it's, it's just nothing really fun. So I have Beach House, which is like a nice burnt coral. And then I have the coral lip liner. So what we'll do is just softly line the lips. I'm taking my brush that is a concealer lip brush. It's a retractable lip brush, but you can use this for the lip also if you wanted to instead of a concealer. So it's really up to you how you use your brushes, but we're going to precisely apply the Beach House to the lips. I'm going to take my milk chocolate brow mascara and I'm going to just comb through the brows. I picked out, to top it all off, Manifest and Glow. And this is my gold lip gloss. So you can wear it by itself. It's going to give you just a little bit of that gold hue. It's not going to be too much, but I thought it worked perfectly with Lainey's 50th wedding anniversary because gold is the color. So why not add this in on top? So we're going to finish off with my rose mist at the very end of the makeup tutorial, just to kind of give you that extra hydration at the end. And we're going to give you a mirror so you can see what you look like.
It's beautiful. Thank you.
How do you feel with the lip? Because I know you don't wear a lip.
The lip will take some getting used to. I've never worn this color before. It's very interesting. Yeah. I'll have to get used to it. It's okay. It's okay. I'm going for it.
So what would you tell ladies that maybe are sitting back, like you have watched the channel and you've been inspired by other women that have been on the channel? What would you say to a woman that maybe just had a heart attack or is feeling like, oh my gosh, this is, I don't know if I could go on, or I can't believe this is happening to me? What kind of advice would you give them being through it that would give them some inspiration?
Well, I suppose just surviving it and making it through. I have a fierce will to live, which I'm sure my lady friends out there do also. There's no point in giving up. Just power through it. And it doesn't have to define your life. It doesn't live in my head. I am choosing joy every day, and that's what I wake up to in the morning. God, I hope God gives me many more days, and they're going to be blessed days.
So what are your 3 products you couldn't live without when it comes to makeup?
I love your eye primer. I just love it. I love the mascara. I think it's very, very nice. And maybe the brushes would be fun. The third one that I would pick. That way you can fool around a little bit here, a little bit there.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so happy that you came all the way down from Tampa and to experience this. It's been so much fun with you. You have such great energy. And we love that, you are in great health now. You're on your way to recovery. And we're so happy that you got to share it with all of the ladies here. They really appreciate it because it is hard to come on and be vulnerable, especially in your 70s on YouTube, no makeup, and then being transformed. So ladies, thank you so much. And until my next video, we'll see you later.